Finding a web host that balances affordability with good performance can often be difficult. Usually, when you see a price tag as low as $2.50 a month, you expect constant downtime, slow servers, and hidden fees that skyrocket upon renewal. InterServer, however, claims to offer those low prices without those issues. We decided to put InterServer to the test to see if their long-term value proposition holds up in the real world. The short version is that they offer one of the better value deals in the industry, particularly because that low starting price includes unlimited storage, transfer, and email. That said, there is a bit of a catch. Let's dive in. We started our testing with the shared hosting plan. Our initial thought was that a package including a proprietary security suite and a highly optimized infrastructure was simply too good to be true for the price of a cup of coffee. I'm glad to report that we were wrong. InterServer turns out to be a hosting provider offering extraordinary value for a small to medium-sized website. One of the most interesting aspects of their infrastructure is that the servers operate at only 50% capacity. This policy prevents server overcrowding and ensures that even during traffic spikes, performance remains stable. During our testing, this held true, and we had a fast and reliable experience throughout. The sign-up process was mostly straightforward, though we did encounter a few quirks. For example, the domain availability checker doesn't give you feedback until you're halfway through the next page, which led to a bit of back and forth until we found a domain that was free. Once we were in, we found that InterServer is rather generous with their features. You get unlimited storage and data transfer without it affecting speed, and their in-house InterShield security solution includes a machine learning firewall and an automatic virus scanner. We would definitely recommend InterServer shared hosting, despite some of their pricing quirks. It's a well-rounded package that makes hosting feel like a breeze once you get past the initial setup. The speed and stability were excellent, and besides the somewhat dated dashboard, we couldn't pinpoint any major performance flaws. Next, we moved on to the WordPress hosting plan. This was largely a no-frills affair that didn't differentiate itself much from the standard shared hosting cousin. In fact, InterServer's WordPress hosting is essentially just shared hosting optimized for the WordPress CMS. Unlike some competitors, you won't find advanced developer tools like staging environments or specialized WordPress-only caching here. However, it handles the essentials of a reliable managed service, including weekly backups and automatic updates for the WordPress core and plugins. We used Softaculous to install WordPress, which wrapped up in just under a minute. While the performance of our test site wasn't record-breaking due to us using a heavy, unoptimized theme, the server structure score was high, indicating that the underlying environment is configured correctly. If you're a budget-conscious user who just needs the basics, this is a solid choice, but don't expect the premium WordPress tools you might find at a higher price point. Ideally, we'd move on to praise the website builder next, but this is where things started to fall apart a little. InterServer uses a third-party platform called SitePad, and the integration is, frankly, below industry standards. We actually had to dig through the dashboard and contact customer service just to find where the builder was located. It turns out you have to access it through the direct admin control panel, which has a distinct Windows XP aesthetic. Once we finally got into SitePad, the experience didn't improve much. We tried to edit a template, only to find that the headers were static. We couldn't remove or edit the upper parts of the pages, which was hugely disappointing. On top of that, if you don't buy a domain immediately, you have to use a temporary one, which required a workaround that took us almost an entire workday to figure out. We would not recommend InterServer's implementation of this website builder. It's a mixed bag at best, and the difficulty in even accessing it says a lot about the priority that it has amongst InterServer features. Fortunately, things improved a little when we tested the VPS hosting. Having set up a few VPS environments in the past, we knew manual configuration through the command line was awaiting us. InterServer offers an impressive 32 different slices of VPS plans, making it extremely scalable. You can start small for just $6 a month and add resources one by one without jumping to a massive expensive plan. We opted for a mid-tier slice and found the performance to be excellent. However, you do need to know what you're doing. There are very few built-in beginner-friendly graphical tools here. We had to configure the primary server through SSH, setting up our own firewall rules and creating new users to secure the system. If you prioritize raw power and control over simplicity, this is a fantastic option. The ability to scale in small increments is great for managing costs. But if you're looking for a modern UI that minimizes the need for command line access, this won't be an optimal fit for you. We also looked at their dedicated hosting options. From a user experience perspective, the configuration and day-to-day management were extremely similar to the VPS. You get full root access and use the command line for the administration. We tested one of their Buy It Now servers, which are pre-configured machines available for immediate deployment. The performance was stellar, with favorable speeds and a generous 1 gigabit per second unmetered port included. If you don't mind doing the configuration yourself and need bare metal power, the value proposition here is hard to beat. Finally, we need to talk about the customer service and the dashboard interface. This is where InterServer struggles the most. While reaching a human agent wasn't an issue, the actual quality of the advice advice given was a bit hit or miss. We found ourselves waiting a long time for answers to technical questions, and sometimes the staff seemed to be relying on outdated knowledge base articles. Furthermore, there's no chat button inside the logged in dashboard. Every time we needed help, we had to open a new tab and go to the main website to find the chat widget, which is an inexplicable omission on modern web design. We believe that InterServer is a great choice for a specific kind of customer. If you're careful about your budget, want high value resources, and aren't afraid to roll up your sleeves on more advanced hosting plans, this is a hidden gem. The infrastructure is solid and the price to performance ratio is excellent. However, if you're a total beginner who needs a polished, modern, and hand-holding interface, this might not be the best choice for you. For those users, paying a little more for a more streamlined host may be a better option. But for the value hunters and the tech-savvy users, InterServer delivers exactly what it promises.